Hey people, welcome back to another Foosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Star Wars Black Series X-Wing pilot Asty. And from what I read in the visual dictionary, his full name's Ello Asty, which is apparently a reference to the Beastie Boys album Hello Nasty. And that's kind of cool. On the side of his helmet in Arabish, I think it's called, it translates to born to ill. So, yeah, pop culture reference that's not just in your face. If you don't get the reference, then it's no problem. But if you do, it's a cool little just Easter egg in there. Now, I found this at Toys R Us. I had found Hux, which was the only other new figure in this wave. I found Hux a few weeks back, maybe even longer than that. But I never found Asty, so I'm glad this is kind of still shipping. But at the same time, I haven't seen the Han Solo Jango Fett wave out in the wild. I have them, the review on that's coming, but I haven't seen it at any of my Walmarts yet. But the packaging, your standard Force Awakens packaging with the red and the black. I noticed in the package Asty's eyes. I didn't notice this when I bought him. This was the only one in the store, so I didn't have a lot to choose from. But one is kind of looking up, one is kind of looking down. I didn't notice that until I got home. It does kind of bug me, but at the same time, when I look down here, his eyes in the picture are kind of, one's more open. So I don't know if his eyes are actually supposed to be kind of derpy, but it works. He's an alien, and plus, I'll more than likely have his helmet on most of the time. Also in the package, I noticed that the helmet is warped over. The bubble has an opening for it, but that half of the helmet's not in it. It's forced over. So hopefully that's a pretty soft material and that won't be a problem. On the back, it's the bio and, you know, all the legalese. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to get this open, compare him to Poe, and see what is going on here. And here he is out of the package. And I like him more than I thought I would. You know, kind of a boring character. Not a lot of screen time. But the effort put into this figure is pretty impressive for just being a background alien pilot. The sculpt, nice and crisp. The flight suit has a lot of detail on it, a texture, along with the pouches and the wrinkles. It just looks nice overall. In fact, it's almost a better shape than the Poe we got. The paints are pretty clean, especially on the helmet. It's a lot of detail packed into there. And then as much as I thought the hose running from the chest down to the leg, and then his straps, as much as I thought that those would get in the way, they really don't. It doesn't impede the articulation. And then finally the head sculpt. It's a little bit plain for being, you know, an alien head. It's smooth. I guess in my brain I would think there would be a lot more wrinkles, a lot more detail, but the smooth, maybe that's the way his race is. I don't know. Now, like I said when he was in the package, his eyes are looking in slightly different directions, but out of the package, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm gonna jump right into articulation. The head is on a ball joint on top of a hinge. You get a little shift forward and back. He can't really look down. That's just the way the sculpt is. He can look up, though. And it almost feels like his head wants to pop off. But what's weird about it is the center peg here is really rubbery. Almost like it stretches out when you try to pull the head back. You can see it kind of stretching up. A hinge and swivel at the shoulder. He can get up about that much. Swivels around. A hinge and swivel at the elbow. It comes up not even 90. So not that great. And then that swivels. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. Hinge, swivel. The left arm is kind of weird. It kind of sticks out. I don't know if they're all like that. Like I said, there was only one at the store. It looks like it sticks out further than the right. The right is kind of sunk in. The left sticks out. But the good thing about that is it does let it lay against the body pretty well. The torso has pretty much just a swivel. There's not a lot of up and down. There's no forward whatsoever. Not a lot of back. No side to side. So yeah, that's about it. Hinge and swivel at the hip. You can bring this up. He can get out about that far. Forward all the way. And back a little bit. It starts bouncing off the butt sculpt. Swivel at the thigh. He's got a double knee. And it comes all the way back. Hinge at the ankle. The pant sculpt kind of gets in the way. He can get forward, but not back very much. It gets caught right there on the back. And then a forward-facing peg for rocker ankle. Now for accessories, he comes with his helmet, and it's an odd-shaped helmet, but it's to fit on an odd-shaped head, so that's not a problem. like I said in the package, the parts that come down here, they're almost pointing in the same direction. And at first, I thought it was this one that was too far in, but it turns out this one is too far out, because I went back to the visual dictionary and looked, and when you put it on his head, this is supposed to come down and conform around his mouth, which makes sense. I guess this is like a microphone right there in front of his mouth. This one is supposed to be over here. I'll have to get some heat on that, try to form it in, but that's what it's supposed to look like. And this fits on really well. His eyes are behind the visor, which is always a plus when it comes to these. And it covers his head for the most part. There is a lot of detail on the helmet. I don't know what this is on the back. No photography? Who knows? And then some added detail here on the ear parts, and then some writing. It's just a cool looking helmet. And for the other accessory, he comes with a pistol. Now this is the same pistol that came with Poe, but this time it's in gold. It looks kind of tarnished. I don't know if this is black paint off the hand or if it was meant to be like this, but there's some black around the handle and some kind of wear down in the grooves of the front of the gun. The odd thing is, though, his holster for the gun is facing back. So I don't know why it sits like that. I don't know. It's probably accurate. The rest of the figure seems to be pretty accurate. I don't know the reasoning for a holster to stick back like that, except for like a quick draw action of, you know, just shoot from the hip kind of thing. Here he is with Poe, and as you can see, there is no shared parts between these two figures. When Asty was first announced, I thought, well, they're just going to reuse the body, maybe change the neck area for the head, and be done with it. But no, this is a completely new figure. At the end of the day, it's not the most exciting figure. There's no surprise to this figure. It's an alien head on a fly suit body. And I know a lot of people have a problem buying a new figure when it's just a background character, which is weird to me. I don't understand it, but I respect your decision to do that. At the same time, I'll buy anything that's put out. If it's a new character or an upgraded version of a character, I'm going to buy it. Maybe I'm just a sucker, but I dig figures like this. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the fwoosh. It's a dedicated sculpt, which is, you know, these days, if you're used to buying Marvel Legends or, you know, other toy lines that have a lot of reuse, it's nice to see a toy line that puts dedicated sculpts into the line. And with a line like Star Wars, you pretty much have to anyway. You have to. I mean, unless you're using stormtroopers or TIE fighter pilots. But when it comes down to main characters or even, you know, guys like this, a dedicated sculpt is the way to go. And I'm just happy to be getting those.